Probably time to welcome you back to the podcast.
Thank you.
Not a new face to the podcast, but you've come back. You're down in Melbourne today, and you've given us the opportunity to sit down and have a podcast. And there's a couple of things that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
One of the things on the list was the reality of running a small business in today's market.
Yep.
You've been, I guess, responding to some of what you've heard in the market, and we've been talking about in the podcast ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really great opportunity to have someone come out of the trenches for the day and talk about it.
Yeah, thanks.
A little bit on dust management too.
Yep.
The big subject that is silica, and then you're going to give us some feedback on the GKs because, you've got two of them.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, I do.
All right. Well, where did you want to start, Dale?
We'll start at the top if you want. Like, should we talk about what it's like owning a business in the market and
What's it like owning a business in today's 2026 market?
it depends what day you ask.
Well, can I say it's a Wednesday? This has been recorded on a Thursday.
It's Thursday, yeah.
Far out. Everyone's looking at me like.
Yeah, so that's the point, isn't it? It's some days awesome. Like some days are really good. And lately, like I would say the last sort of 12 or 18 months, it's been more awesome than not.
Mhm.
But definitely when I first sort of come down, it wasn't awesome at all.
Yeah.
I think as a business owner, when everything sort of lines up and flows, everything's pretty good, right? Like I think our tolerance of trying to deal with adversity is high in some aspects, but is also low. I think, if you look at that single event on its own, like you could probably got some really good strategies to deal with it. But the reality is you don't have a single event. There's like multiple events that come on top of you, right? Like I've had an instance in the past, and I called you when this happened as well, which you gave me some awesome advice on, where I was working on a pool surround and there was some issues with the concrete mix. And then I would say that it wasn't an issue with anything that I did.
Yeah.
But between the concrete plant and then the owner, they were trying to pin it back on me. And I had the owner threatening to take me to court. And I was going to pay to have a pool surround ripped up, and they were going to put a new one in, and they were going to have someone else come in and hone it and finish the slab. And that was a shit day.
Yeah.
That really runs you down and just makes you feel absolutely awful. And I got to a point and I called you and I said, like, hey man, like, is there any way that this is something that I've done? And you reassured me, like, no, like that, what you've done, Dale, is impossible. Like it's impossible that you've sort of done that to the slab.
Causes the outcome, yeah.
Yeah. And you sort of pointed me in a direction of a way to look at what could have generated that outcome. But I guess the reality is, like, that happens one day, then all of a sudden I'm no longer on that site and I've got a few days where I've got no work.
Yeah.
So now the money's not coming in. So then I've got financial pressure at home. And then, like maybe there's something else going on at home that's sort of sitting in the background, and all of a sudden all of this stuff compounds.
Mm-hmm.
And some days it just feels like a bit too much.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where it did feel like a bit too much for me. And it wasn't necessarily something I had control over. I didn't actively think that it was too much. I was just like going day by day and just sort of like trying to work through it. And I probably didn't have any strategies to help me deal with it. I just sort of found myself in a place where my uncontrolled thoughts were uncontrolled.
Mm-hmm.
And I no longer had the ability to sort of deal with that. And yeah, it really took me to a pretty dark place. And what I did was I kind of bottled all that stuff up myself.
Yeah.
I didn't really share it. And I didn't have any internal outlets to sort of deal with that stress. Since then, I've realized that I don't have to do this stuff on my own. Like I've got like Chris Agenbach has been my biggest ally and my best friend through Spec Floors, and we've totally exposed that he has as well. And we work together so well. I got Jason Pierce with Benego Polished Concrete as well, who's like been like such a big advocate for us, and he's helped me like even times where I've got no work and Chris or Jason will have some work for me so that I can pay my bills, so that I can sort of keep moving forwards. And then, just some days Chris and I will be working together and we'll just stop the machines and go and have lunch and just talk for a couple of hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then the communicating this stuff is good too. And just like reaching out to others as well. Like I've got a few guys I talk to on Instagram, like DMs on Insta,
Mm-hmm.
and we just talk every couple of days
Mm.
with like there's a few companies, and it's literally like on a company basis, like it's the Spec Floors page to whatever this company is.
Yeah.
And we talk and just talk about what's going on.
Mm.
And these guys are some of my biggest fans, and I'm some of their biggest fans. And it's been so good to have that network of people to share,
Yeah.
because the reality is like everything that I've been through on a professional level, everything that I'm going through on a professional level, everyone else has done.
Mm.
Like I'm not the first person to do it, and I won't be the last.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's really important that we share this.
I agree.
And then I've also found, for me, having something, so like as a business owner, we have huge drive for success. You know, you're like, we wake up and piss excellence, right? Like that's what we're doing every morning. I did that this morning. It was great. But it can't be all work. You need to have a little bit of play in there. You know, you need to dust the car off and take it out for a drive and feel what that is. You need to, for me, I take my mountain bikes out
Mm-hmm.
and I've started racing downhill again, and it's been awesome. And then not only that, but like the friendships you get out of that. And I specifically say racing, because riding is one thing. You get, you know, your
Yeah.
specific adrenaline rush,
Yeah.
but you don't have that stress.
Yeah.
When you race, you get stress.
Yep.
And everything that happens in Spec Floors, when I'm like getting ready to do a race, I focus on that and all the Spec Floors fluff, faff, whatever it is, the stuff that can get you down. Also the stuff that picks you up just disappears.
Yeah.
And I'm not Dale from Spec Floors in that point in time. I'm just Dale out there riding my bike, and it's about having that race mentality. And that for me has just given me such a release.
Yeah.
So
If you have a good result or a bad result in racing, kind of doesn't matter. It just gives you such a shake up.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
You're able to look at. I guess you really remove yourself from the day-to-day business, and you're able to, for a short while, look at it from the outside objectively.
Yeah.
For just even a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's almost like you're looking at someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Which gives you just the energy and the objectivity to be able to assess it and probably return back to it with a clear, focused energy.
Yeah.
And a a full tank.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think really helped is I didn't read face to face, but audio book, Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying.
Yep.
That book was awesome for me.
How to Stop Worrying.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool. And like there was two sort of main things that we sort of got from it.
Yeah.
And the first one was sphere of influence.
Yes.
When you've got a problem, can you influence it? Like, what are the steps that I need to take in order to influence it?
Yes.
It's like, well, stop worrying and just influence it. Do those steps. It's like, well, can I not influence it? It's like, well, if you can't influence it, don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do anyway. So
Kill
just
yourself worrying about
let it be.
Yeah.
And then the next step that goes with that is airtight compartment. So I've got my sphere of influence, all the things I can fix, put them out in a list, put them in a box. Inside that box is that specific problem with all the steps to action it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like as business owners, we're generally pretty good at getting after tasks, but they need to be sequential, not simultaneous. You can't do everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Do one thing at a time. Put it in a box, attack that box, fix that problem, resolve that. Then you also get that relief from saying, I've fixed a problem. I had a problem. I took the steps. I fixed it. I can now put that aside and move on to the next airtight compartment.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that with my problems has helped me immensely.
Yep.
And then finally, the last thing that we've done in Spec Floors that has helped me do this is I've got Julie back on.
Yeah.
So anyone that does any work with us now will talk to Julie because she is basically our administrator.
Mm-hmm.
So she owns my time more or less from 7 a.m. Monday or 7 till 5, Monday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She does all my time management stuff and sends me wherever I need to go. And she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Her work rate's really high. And Jake from Grindstones recently posted about this on Instagram as well. He's got his own administrator that works for him.
Yep.
And he's like, it just gives me space to think.
Mm.
I'm not worried about where I'm going tomorrow or like this next specific thing or like calling this person back or following up on this email or doing this quote at 10 o'clock at night or whatever it's going to be. She does all of that.
Yeah.
Now all I get to do is I get to step back on the business, look at it at a more strategic perspective from the business, shape the direction in which we're going, and she gets after the minutia. And then when I'm on the job, all I've got to worry about is what I'm specifically delivering that day, what my daily outcomes are for that. And Julie helps me say, you need to get to this point. And we build this together, right? Like this is a step for this day, this is a step for the next day. And then I've just got my clear outcomes that I set, my problem set in my airtight compartment of each day. I then go through everything I need to do, resolve any of the on-site problems I've got at that point in time, and then move on to the following day. And it's fantastic.
It's a good system.
She has done wonders for the business. We've done rebranding. We're updating our slogan, so we won't be Spectacular Concrete Finishes anymore. We're about to be Spectacular Polished Concrete.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like average.
No, that's not what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's reinvigorated the business. She's reinvigorated me and given me back time and space, which has been fantastic. And I can't thank her enough.
I could imagine.
Yeah. And then like everything's coming up Dale at the moment. It's awesome. Like Spec Floors is thriving. Like we've got some pretty good equipment now. Like we're equipped to step forward into the future. We've been through a big efficiency sort of gaining process over the last couple of years, like from what Dad had.
It's changed a lot.
Revolutionized. We're running GKs now. Like we're strictly running GKs now. New truck, new systems, new tools. Everything's running very smoothly for how we do business. And when I say smoothly, there's still definitely speed bumps along the way and things that we have to deal with.
Of course.
But yeah, we're on a really good trajectory. So I've got a lot of confidence as to where we are, where the industry is, and what the future looks like for all of us.
Yeah. That's really fantastic. Some really good tools that you've given us there to work with.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can see it on the outside, the evolution since the keys changed hands.
Yep.
And it was already a very well-oiled machine, a good running business when that happened. And I think that what we've seen happen is, of course, the new thoughts come into the next generation coming into the business.
Yep.
And I think that's been executed pretty well. And then it's kind of come at a time that some might have gone, this is terrible timing. But I kind of see it at the same time that you've actually done all of this. It was the right time for it to happen as well, in regards to you came in and you had a vision to change things. And it was at the same time that the market was kind of doing a big shift at the same time.
Yeah.
And if we look at the business today, it kind of looks like it's really well suited to where you are right now, in the I guess the cycle of the economy and just where construction is right now.
Yeah, thanks.
Certainly look like you adapted and I would say leading in that space.
Thank you.
And it's obvious. I'm sorry.
Well, it's very deliberate.
But from the outside, you go, that's all looking well, but you just don't know how that. You just gave us a bit of an insight as to how this has come to be and how you've executed.
Yeah. And the key thing here too is it doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very part of why I come down here and see you guys, because if I just stayed at home and stayed on my job site, I wouldn't gain the broader perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't talk to people and learn, there's so many people out there that I can learn from, and we can learn from each other. And that's why I love these guys that message me on Instagram. I love talking to them.
Yeah.
And I'm asking them for advice and they ask me for advice, and we're always working together. And I think you see these companies grow with the industry, and the whole industry has so much growth, and they're all we're all leveling up together.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that we do that, and Works is a big part of that as well.
Yeah, well, we're building this industry together.
Yeah.
No one does it on their own, and it probably does more damage when someone tries to to destroy it on their own, you know. But it's certainly something, I've said this before. It's an ungoverned industry to a certain extent. It's not a qualified trade, so the downside is as positive as the upside.
Yeah.
Is that we get to run it and drive it and that sort of stuff. So everyone's got to be on board to want to actually go and lead it to where we think it needs to go. As an industry.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that by sticking, in your own lane.
No.
Um,
You can't just put your head in the sand and expect everything to come to you, right?
no. One of the things that you mentioned was that you talk to a lot of other guys as well. Does Dad know about Chris yet? And I'm bringing that one up because I've known the businesses for a long time.
Yeah.
What are we, 26? So, nearly 20 years, right? And we brought up in one of the podcasts that you should be talking to what you're perceiving as your competition. And a lot of guys actually contacted me and said, I can't do that.
Oh, really?
Anything but that.
Yeah.
Right. But you guys, these companies didn't get along at all, right?
I mean, you know Bill and you know Craig, and I love them both.
Yes,
and I can see why they didn't get on.
But you guys have made some really big progress.
Yeah.
Personally and in companies by actually getting over that or getting past that.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a really encouraging thing to see in your region and just for you both personally. I mean, you would know that.
Yeah.
You're reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah.
But being able to witness that is one of the it's another reason why we say that you've got to talk to your neighbor. You've got to talk to your competitor. You don't know what you're missing out on.
No, and I want to say hats off to Yared as well from YDPC. Like from the moment I came into Spec Floors, he would call me and we'd catch up and have chats and stuff as well. Like I don't have the same relationship with Yared and Dylan as I do with Chris, and that's fine. But we still are absolutely on talking terms. And if he ever calls, I pick up the phone. And like you're right. Like we do need to talk to each other. Like we all grow this industry together.
Yeah.
And the relationship with Chris has just been. Like he's one of my best mates now, right? Like I talk to him every day. Like I've spoken to him this morning already. And Bill as well. Like I think I've got a really good relationship with Bill. Like it's obviously not the same that I have with Chris.
Yeah.
But Bill's fantastic, and we have like mutual trust and respect for each other. And it's awesome to have that, like to have friends out there. And the reality is too, like. I'm based in Albury Wodonga, and how many builders do you think in there, right? Like there's probably 100, 200 builders around that area.
Yep.
They all do the same stuff. Like can you imagine if there was 200 concrete polishers in a populous size of less than 100,000? Like that's absurd to think that it would be a case. But builders, plumbers, electricians, they do this. They know each other. They work together. Like we should be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And not just even that, like floor covering companies as well. Like I've got a relationship with Border Carpet and Tiles in Wodonga as well. Like it's great. Like other people have other products that I don't have, and I've got products that other people don't have. But even for the companies that have the same products, we can work together. Like the reality is, and I was even talking to Jason Pierce this morning about this. It's like the reality of what Bendigo Polished Concrete can deliver on site is like him and Eddie can go on site with machines, and then Craig and I can come down with some GKs, and Chris can even come down, and all of a sudden we've got 3 GKs on site, a couple of PGs. Like it's huge capacity, right? Like if we need to start stepping into that commercial space, like we absolutely can, and we do, and it's great.
And that also helps to address one of the issues that you brought up before, is just on the I guess the economics of the product. If you can supply at that level, you can keep the cost in check.
Yeah.
So on top of that, it's also reassuring or reinsuring the sustainability of the actual product.
Yeah.
and the accessibility of it.
Yeah. And the sustainability of the business going forward from an economical perspective, like you say. And we, Spec Floors has always been very good at bean counting. I know Dad talks about, like, from his chef perspective in the past, where he'd count everything that's on the plate and have a dollar value to that. And I still do the same thing. I'm not a chef. I did logistics, so similar sort of background. So you're like, if you can actually understand every single component of your cost, like every component of your cost, and I track this, then you know what you can work for and how you can achieve jobs at a specific rate. So it's like, we're talking like, hey, like, this project has a specific budget. And I'm like, that's unfortunate. We're going to be able to deliver you something that's got a step taken out.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because I know what that step costs. I know how much it would cost to do that and what I can work with within the parameters that I'm given. And we've done it. The proof's in the pudding. Like, I've done some work for people as a subcontractor, as a subcontractor to a builder, where they've said, this is the budget that we have. We need to achieve it within this. And I'm like, cool, these are the parameters I need to be able to achieve that. These are the specific steps that I'm going to do. And then this is the result.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that as a system? Then we can achieve your floor within that sort of world. But these are the trade-offs. But it's like, we all do like a gold, silver, bronze plated solutions. And to a certain extent, where we've done that in the past with our residential, Dad had the basic, standard and premium level finishes. That was mostly based on gloss, because achieving more gloss is generally more work.
Yeah.
Our products have sort of steered a different way from that, but we're looking to reintroduce a premium, a standard and a basic service, which allows us to vary our rates. So if you want to have the best possible outcomes with the highest quality work with no compromise, we'll do the premium service.
Yeah.
If you want, potentially like, hey, like, polished concrete's really good. We want to achieve the fundamentals of polished concrete, but the aesthetic benefits of like this huge pop of gloss, or, fully consistent aggregate exposure, whatever it's going to be, but the benefits of polished concrete. So we're having a ground, a grouted, a densified, and a polished floor. We can do that. Like,
that's because you know your cost basis.
I mean,
all of your costs.
We all should know these costs, all of these costs.
Can you say that again?
Yes. We all should know the costs of doing business. Yes. And I've had these discussions with some of my peers as well to say, like, you need to know every single step. And most of them will turn around and say, yeah, I probably do. And Jason won't mind me calling him out on this. He just goes, oh, no, I wait till the end of the year and I look at the difference between the P and the L on my spreadsheet that my accountant gives me. And I'm like, come on, man, like, you're better than this. But his work speaks for itself, and that's his model, and that's how he does it, and that's how he reduces his stress and runs.
Having done it for as long as he has, it's fairly predictable for him.
Yeah.
So
he's got
as much as he makes that sound really simplified, it's because of all of the history behind that.
Yeah.
That he can rest assured that, when he sees the P&L.
Yeah, he knows he's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's and I've said this many times, that we've spoken about being a concrete polisher as being a mobilized manufacturer.
Yeah.
And thinking like a manufacturer. And you're talking about being able to offer a lot of different solutions or a lot of different products. And if you walk into National Tiles, and I'm not paid for this at all, if you walk into National Tiles, they don't just sell one tile. They sell a multitude of them, and they are sold for different aesthetics. They are sold for different budgets, and there's lots of different things to choose from. And you automatically know, as a home builder, if you're going in there, you already know per square meter what your anticipated cost is.
Yep.
And you find something that suits your budget. Otherwise, you blow it. But the same should be said for when you want mechanically polished concrete. Not every job has to automatically become a grind and seal if they say they don't want to spend the money, because that's probably not even, when you look at the cost basis.
Yeah,
it's probably
grind and seal is not something we really offer anymore. Not for an internal solution.
No, and even from a cost basis, as a manufacturer, you might not have necessarily have achieved your goal.
I can polish concrete cheaper than I can grind and seal it.
There you go.
Yep.
Right? So these people could still have the benefit, and so do you.
Yep.
As opposed to you're giving them a perception of of the lower cost,
Yeah.
but it's actually coming at a cost to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And that's why I say, like, I'm totally with you that you've absolutely got to know all of your costs for everything,
Yep.
because when it comes to being able to offer a solution, you've got to have more than one,
Yep.
and you've got to be able to understand what it is that they want, and you've got to be able to also articulate that based on when they come to you with and say, "This is my budget.
Yep.
Well, these are the things that we can achieve. What would you like
Yep.
most to be able to see for that budget?"
Yeah.
And we'll make that.
And that's why every floor is a tailored response that we give to everyone. Unless they just want full exposed high gloss, that's easy. That's my favorite to do.
Yeah.
It's the most display of our technical competence is a full exposed high gloss floor.
Mm.
I mean, low gloss could be also argued at the same. Like a consistent
Yeah.
low gloss floor is probably harder to achieve
It's
now.
amazing, isn't it? Either end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, we tailor every floor to every sort of solution that we want to do. And it doesn't take that much time. And this is, again, one of the things that Julie does for us at Spec Floors is the way that she can spend the time with people and her intimate, like she's been doing this for 15 years now. Like she's actually been in the polished concrete industry for more time than I have.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really much better at talking to people than I am too.
Oh, Brittany, can we get Julie onto the show?
Yeah.
give her a call. Just call her in. Just dial her in now.
Yeah, so no, it's good that we can tailor that, and whether it's price that's tailoring it, or whether it's the specific finish, or generally a combination of both.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good that we can offer all of these solutions.
Wow, far out. We've covered already some
Yeah.
some stuff now. Anything else that you wanted to cover off on the I guess on either of the past two? We had the mental health and the business realities of business before we move into the we've got two other things on here that we said
Yeah.
we talk about.
I mean, I think just with the mental health, like talking to people is super important. So I just want to say, like, if anyone wants to message me on Instagram, my DM's always open.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can find my phone number online. I'm always on my headset
Yeah.
when I'm at work, and I'm generally by myself. So if you just want to call and have a chat, I'm round. Like,
Yeah.
happy to talk, like communicate, share the load, share anecdotal problems that you got going on, and I can tell you what I've done, and you can tell me what you've done, and just talk to each other. Like,
it can be a challenging space, can't it? Doing NPC, you're often either working in isolation because you're the only one on site, or even if you're with other, there's other people in your team, you might not talk to them for a whole day because once again, you've got your earmuffs on and your head's down and you're focused on what you're doing and producing. So it can be a bit of a lonely sport.
oh yeah, Chris has got us these really cool headsets. They're like a 3M one that has a UHF built into it, so you can talk to each other on site. The amount of smack that gets spoken through those headphones, you're like 12, 13, 14 hours deep into a shift of running the machine. The amount of dribble that comes through the headset. So yeah, that's sometimes the isolation, you would like a little bit more of it. And I would probably say, because Chris will call me out on this, they probably want to be isolated from me.
How many headsets is that connecting?
It's UHF, so as long as you're like, we've got the whole team gets on them. Yeah, so it's good. Jump on Channel 40, give the truckies some dramas as they drive past as well. Yeah, you're good to go. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, we'll call it, eh?
I'm going to stick with my Bluetooth. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm the quiet type. I actually revel in the time on my own.
Yes.
But no, I think it's a really a very nice gesture, very generous of you to offer your time to all these strangers. But it's important. It's an important message, even if they're not talking to you, talking to someone else. Is a big deal, and we can often get caught up in if we don't have the skills, get caught up in these things, and we get to a much worse place than what's necessary. But like you said before, as much as it doesn't make me feel any special now, everyone's already had these problems. I'm not unique in that. I don't have any unique problems that someone else hasn't had before. So there's probably someone out there that can sort your problem.
I mean, none of us have had Tim as a big brother driving us, so I can imagine what it was like for you as a young man grinding concrete and polishing terrazzo and dealing with all of that.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had Tim driving me either.
Haven't you?
No, I think we're just all very competitive
Yeah, okay.
anyhow.
Yeah.
Um,
So then arguably it was his diligence and hard work. He set the bar and you're like, I've got to beat this.
Look, do you understand the birth order and how that affects each child?
Not necessarily. Like I'm one of two and I've got an older sister who's never polished concrete with us. So
Well, if you understand the whole birth order situation, you'll understand that. But
well, Tim's a bit older than you. You're the youngest, right?
I'm supposed to be a lot more irresponsible.
Yeah.
But when I don't know if I should reveal this. No, for whatever reason, I always thought, yeah, I think I could do that better. No, just kidding. I think something that each of us have brought to the business and have worked out pretty early in the game is that we've all got strengths in a particular area.
Yep.
And we're all very competitive. We all come from competitive sport backgrounds.
Yep.
And I guess we understand what our strengths are. And so we all push really hard at what we're, I guess, strongest at.
Yeah.
So when you say that, growing up with Tim driving you, well, it wasn't really. It's kind of like he had a really strong strength in one area and I knew what my strength was in another area. And same with Chris as well.
Yeah.
And so I guess we all just pushed as hard at where our strengths were. And that just drove us, united in a direction that we, for a vision that we collectively had.
That sounds exactly like teamwork.
That was teamwork, not teamwork.
Team
work,
yep.
yes.
Yep.
It is teamwork. I guess, we grew up in a pretty tight-knit family.
Yeah.
And, we didn't have anything. So we had to steal. I mean, we had to get everything. So we had, it
Make everything.
It had to make everything.
Yeah.
It took a lot of creativity. And if you wanted to do something, you probably were going to be able to achieve it if you did it together.
Yeah.
As opposed to just trying to get something for yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a really, really cool dynamic to sort of, I guess, have been involved in. And look where it's got you guys now as well. Like,
look at all the trouble it's got us in now. Which is that a good segue into dust management, or is it a good segue into GKs?
I mean, part of it probably comes hand in hand. I think since getting the 850,
quite a whole new problem.
Yeah. Yep. So the 700 fitted in great with what I was doing. Really productive machine, really efficient. Plug straight into the current setup, and off we go.
Yep. And what was the current setup, just so everyone else has got a bit more visibility? Like if they're not already contacting you.
So I had a Shindawa 50 kVA generator, which was bought specifically to match into the GKs, but it came a little bit before that, which then plugged through to my 55T, straight into my whatever the grinder was there, and then the GK stepped into that. So just a 55T leads through the 55T, 6mm cable, straight into that to the GK 700, clean floor, happy days, 7-minute bags every day of the week on a first cut, right? No dramas. And then I got an 850. And then the single 55T can't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
5-minute bags, takes me 3 minutes to change a bag. 40% of my time is now spent doing dust bags, which managing that workload is an issue.
Yep.
So now we're on a double 55T setup, which I'm yet to run. And then we've got the SCS separator, trying to create some efficiencies. But again, that's now got downsides that I didn't have before, in terms of it's hard to move two vacuums and a separator around together while you're running a GK 850, which I don't know if you've seen how fast their walk speed is over a floor, but it's quite high.
Yeah.
You don't really have the time to be moving stuff around and running the grinder. And then I'm still spending a bunch of time changing dust bags, right? So it's like, if I'm stepping into that world, I've got a clean floor, but I've got all these other problems that I'm dealing with. Whereas if I'm single vacuum, easy to move around, happy days, no dramas, but I'm leaving a bunch of dust on the floor. And then there's obviously all of the risks with getting into airborne dust. And we're trying to like implement other strategies as to deal with that. Obviously, for us as a practice, airborne dust is not acceptable at any stage, and nor should it be for anyone. Obviously, there's some dangers around silica dust exposure, and there's legislation that we adhere to as best as possible. And we've got all of our protection measures all the way along the way, like about contamination in the first instance. So for us, that's our dust extractors, that's our shroud and our skirt sitting on the floor, water suppressants that work from there. Then we step into like the manual handling of that dust, any atmospheric exposure as well. So we're using air scrubbers, air purifiers in all the areas. We're isolating our areas of work so there's no one. But then the reality of if you're leaving dust on the floor, the next time you wet down the floor, even that's enough to agitate airborne dust, which is now unacceptable. So I don't necessarily want to have to vacuum up my floor with a vacuum every pass. So how do we step into this world where we're extracting the right amount of a dust at the right rate behind something like a GK850, which produces a bag in 5 minutes and 9 seconds, apparently? It's 36% more production than a GK700, which is great once you've stepped out of first cut.
Yeah.
But that first cut, managing the dust in that world is difficult.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we're looking for a lot of innovation in this world where we're clean floor behind the machine. We want to step away from manual handling of dust bags because A, they're heavy, B, there's another risk of exposure to silica dust at that point in time. And then we're also recycling our concrete dust, and we have been for the last couple of years. So we're no longer leaving mountains of concrete dust on site majority of the time, and we're actually taking it and then recycling it, which then is another task and exposure threat that we have to deal with. And then obviously PPE is a last resort. So I've got the clean space that we use, and then other specific like just paper filters and that sort of stuff that you're constantly sort of wearing, so that you're making sure that you're not exposing yourself, generating risk. I got kids, man, I want to be here for a long time. Like we want to stay doing this, right? So for us, I think being able to manage that dust out the back of the 850 and moving it rearwards to a holding place where then it's easy to dump after that is a direction that we want to go in at Spec Floors. And I can say this for Chris as well, because he's very interested in working together so that we can all sort of collectively get to an outcome, and really keen to partner with you guys as to how we can sort of achieve that together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's, all these conversations that we're constantly having, and that's why it's so good talking to you guys at Works, that you listen to us and you understand that. And most of the time you've probably been through what we're going through. You guys have had the big calves, which produce a significant amount of dust for a long time. And then you're dealing with all of the regulated sites and how we do that. I've seen some of the setups that you've done with the 55T as to how you can sort of manage all of this dust. And you know what the 55T is, and an outstanding vacuum. And I have nothing but good things to say about the one I've had for the last few years. And I've just got another one to help manage that. And those vacuums will stay and they will always have a functional role. But I think it's sort of time to step into something bigger that allows us to stay safe and gain a large portion of productivity, because it's not 25% of your time. It's 40%.
Yeah, you're at the cusp of having to change your company name from suggesting that you're concrete polishers to that we're bag changers.
Pretty much.
Once you breach that 50%, you're not a concrete polisher anymore. You're a bag bag changer.
Yeah, dust management company. And can you imagine how much Milan will get into the numbers on this? Like if I can increase my productivity by say 30%, right? Like we're not going to have a foolproof solution. So say I can gain 30%. What's 30% revenue mean? We are talking first cut. So that's a portion, but I would say that's potentially 20-25% of your work is first cut. So if you can gain that in that stage, what does that mean for you going forwards?
Correct.
And what does that mean to the bottom line? And then we all come into the how do we do our work as efficiently as possible? And I think this is a huge part of that.
Mhm.
And it's how we maintain profits in the industry. It's how we maintain WHS standards. It's how we deliver excellent projects quicker than ever before too. Because time on site is time for the developers, the builder, that they have to allow into their schedule. So if I can reduce that,
Mm.
then all of a sudden they've got another reason why they should go with polished concrete.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. Is there anything in the current legislation that you think needs review?
Uh, I don't know, to be completely honest.
Mhm.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to understand the differences in the silica dust and its actual impact, because I'm not confident that it's purely understood, because obviously we've got different types of silica and how it sort of behaves.
Mhm.
And then, we see in like the manufactured stone benchtops world, it's very severe for them.
Yep.
But then you look at and there's cases in this manufactured stone world, right? Like this person, this exposure, this severely detrimental health outcome.
Mm.
And then you look at our industry, and my dad did this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And dust was a little bit looser back in the day than it is now, right? And I think even from where I was when I started working for him back then to now, we're much smarter with how we handle dust. But what's the health implications for him specifically with concrete dust?
Mhm.
And I don't want to say that it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Not playing
I'm
it down.
sure that it is. But why are we not seeing more? I don't want my dad to have lung cancer. I just want to say that straight up.
Yeah, yeah.
But why doesn't he?
Agree.
You know what I mean? Where's I want to understand that probably a little bit more and have that applied to our legislation.
Mhm.
I also severely think that we should absolutely not be kicking up concrete dust in the air at any point in time.
Same.
And
Hate the stuff anyway.
and we're not the only ones that do it though too.
Yeah.
I've been on commercial sites and I've been grinding away with my H-class separate vacuum, keeping all of my dust down, water suppressant, air purifier. And then there's the builder with a diamond blade on his cordless Makita,
Mhm.
no dust extractor or whatever, grinding some concrete back of some hole that they excavated because it was 10 mil out too far.
Yeah.
And there is dust everywhere. And we've all seen it.
Oh, absolutely.
All
and
the time.
the funny thing is, as concrete grinders and polishers, we see stuff like that and we just go, oh, you can't do that.
No.
And it's but these days, concrete grinders roll up to site and everyone's like, oh, you got to get you guys off site.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
You guys have been pulling out those hand tools.
Yeah.
Yep. And just making, sending shivers down our spines while we're trying to grind clean.
Yes.
And now you're pointing the finger at us. It's like, what?
Yep. Yep. Oh, we've even had it. We do a bit of shop defitting in one of the plazas in Albury.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the time they make good grinding epoxy and art and that sort of stuff, which I would say is worse than concrete.
Yeah.
One shop defit, this defit company that we don't work for decided that they would just do it with a 9-inch. So it was probably 100 square meters of floor, and they spent a night in their 9-inch, no dust extractor. And the cleaner, who his cleaning office is adjacent to that, has had all this severe lung damage as a result of that. He's coughing up blood. The dude can barely, he's a skinny, he's not a big overweight guy or anything like that, but he is out of breath just walking up and down the plaza now. And because I go in there all the time and I see him, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm just I'm stuffed. I don't think I can work at all anymore. He's like, but I've got no choice, so I have to. And it's these are the people that need to be cracked down on. These cowboys that are going in there, these dust monkeys that have no idea about what they're doing and are doing ridiculous stuff that has huge implications for everyone else. Us as an industry, always out here trying to do the right thing, and you'll find every professional company is trying to do the right thing in this instance. I mean, at the same time, I've also driven past someone pushing a 680 on a tennis court, grinding paint off with no dust extractor, and there's just dust pouring through the air. And I'm like, these are the
dust extractor.
These are the people that are undercutting us on the job sites.
Yeah.
And it really grinds my gears.
I could imagine.
Yeah. So, it'll be good to further enhance what we're doing from a productivity and a WHS perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think the WorkSafe legislation that I go by is adequate. It's pragmatic in its approach, in my opinion,
Mm.
in terms of like, this is the gold plated standard. We understand you can't always do that.
Yep.
So if you can't implement this control measure, which is generally just do it completely wet, it's
Yep.
like that doesn't really work for us with our machines. So it's like, cool, if you're doing it dry, then use water as a suppressant, which I am. So I'm not doing it wet, but I'm using it as a suppressant,
Yeah.
and I'm using a H class separator.
Mm.
Sorry, H class extractor.
Yep.
But then I'll go further than that, and then I'll always use my air purifier, and I'll try and ensure I've got ventilation going through the area as well.
Yep.
And then I'll isolate too. So, which is also a nice tool to get access to the floor if you're like, oh no, like it's WHS, we need to isolate this area because of potential concrete dust exposure. And then
Well, then we'll have to get you to come in after hours.
yeah, I can do that as well. This is the extra bill for after hours work. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I think silica dust legislation needs to exist
Mhm.
and needs to be implemented and controlled, but it needs to be pragmatic.
And I would say it probably also needs to be understood.
Yep.
And you could probably say that for just about every industry that's had to bring in a new form of legislation.
Yeah.
It takes a bit of time before people actually get to understand it. First of all, they come in with the rules, and then the understanding flows after that, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, you guys like through ProGrinder dealing with it more strictly implemented than anywhere, right? Like I've seen some of the stuff that you guys are trying to do to control that. How's that going, and why is it that I thought my legislation was the same as what you guys have got, and how is it that you guys have so much more you have to do?
Uh huh. Well, I don't specifically know because that's not my business.
Yeah.
So I'm not involved in it on a day to day. I do hear a lot of, I guess, a lot of different angles, and not just from them, but also from other contractors in the same, working in the same sphere. Um, and I think one part is there's a lot of, there's a real lacking of education. So you've got the rules. Everyone seems to understand what the rules are. Nobody really seems to understand the context, and therefore we don't have the education piece. Um, and the the legislation in some areas looks to have been exploited in order to mask other problems that were existing on site. And it's pretty easy to um, pull that lever and say this is the problem when it is an unmeasured hazard. And because there's so little understanding, no one can really defend it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So we've seen a bit of that happening. Where it's been problematic from an, or not necessarily problematic, there's been some successes and there's also been some problems. There have been some successes in many cases where there has been the instances like you referred to before, whether it's the the builder or another contractor who turned up with you know inadequate equipment, and that it caused either a site to be shut down, um, or someone to be kicked off site. That's actually given people the capacity to do that now, which has made safer sites.
Yep.
It has also meant that if you are going to consider getting into the industry, that you actually have to be fully invested to make sure that everyone who's working in it with you now is safe.
Yep.
Because that was also a problem for a lot of employees in the past, that they weren't being provided with the correct equipment to go out to projects, and they basically just had to, oh well, suck that up.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, it's a whole lot more difficult to do that these days because there is legislation sitting there, and everyone is familiar with the rules.
Yep.
So it's pretty easy to shut down that cowboy mentality, I think. So that's a good thing. But there have also been, like I said before, the difficulty has also been that either where it's been utilised as a lever for a preferred outcome, it's not great. Um, Particularly in the instances that I've heard it being used, um, and I guess what you could tell is that the person who used the legislation against the contractor didn't actually understand
Mm.
even what it is that they're dealing with. And I think that is where the problem is where the legislation doesn't necessarily reflect a solid understanding of the actual hazard that they're dealing with, either how to measure it or how to handle it. And I think that's certainly somewhere we could do a lot more work,
Yeah.
because otherwise, all that we're going to create is you just create fear. Um, and someone once said that the word fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay, and I think I think it's a good thing in that a lot of what people are seeing or the way that they're interpreting the legislation, because it fails to fulfill all of the facts, or the education side of it. A lot of things that you might see, you might interpret as being real, but there's just no actual education piece there, right? So I think there's a lot to be done there. You'll be able to achieve a lot more as an industry when everyone actually understands what they're dealing with,
Yep.
as opposed to hey, you know, you just can't do anything that's with dry concrete anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Or, and that just creates a whole lot of
Yep.
additional fear. And I'm the same as you. I don't like concrete dust.
No.
I don't like exposure to it. I don't like anyone else being exposed to it. At the same time, however, you can make much better decisions when you actually understand what you're working with.
Yep.
And I think that's, you know, I hope that's what we're going to see over the next 5 years in the industry.
Yeah. Good.
And so that also means that when it comes to providing solutions for it, from a contractor and from a manufacturer, manufacturers can support contractors better.
Yep.
Contractors will know how to tackle their projects, and how to be able to deliver, not just on what they need to from a profitability perspective, but also safely, on site. Because we're basically moving that manufacturing facility to every site, so
Yep.
it becomes our facility.
Yep.
If it's our facility, like a factory here, it's our job to maintain it.
Yep.
And you've got the same obligations on a site
Yep.
when you turn it into a manufacturing facility.
Yeah. Yep. And it just becomes not just our people that we've got on the site, but the other people that are also working in that environment deserve to have a safe workplace as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Even though the attitude on site might be, I don't care, it's not my problem.
Mm.
It becomes everyone's problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it does. Now that's interesting to see how you guys how some of the complications that programs had to deal with, because essentially we're talking about big projects, multiple
Mhm.
trades working on site at the same time, and then potentially some overgoverned control element, whether it's the foreman or the building company that's running the site
Mhm.
that understands what the policy is, but not why it exists.
Yeah.
Whereas for us on a more residential side of things, generally, if we're grinding concrete, it's an open slab and there's no one else there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like we're implementing this policy to protect ourselves and making sure that we're doing safe work practices, not necessarily because someone's sitting over the top of us, over governing us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because we're motivated to have these practices for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, when dry concrete grinding was introduced into Australia back in the late 90s, um, they already tried to shut it down then, based on the whole idea um, of the silica dust exposure, right? The
Yeah.
crystalline silica dust exposure, because everything traditionally before that was done wet, and as soon as they saw dry concrete grinding, they were like, no, 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 can't do that. And so ever since then, we've actually proactively every year, done the hygiene testing
Yeah. Okay.
to prove that all of the safe work practices, are actually safe.
Yeah.
So we've been able to demonstrate that for over 20 years
Yeah.
that we can do this.
Yeah.
And then when the new legislation comes out, it's like, okay, you just can't grind concrete anymore. It's like, well, got more than 20 years of data
Yeah.
that shows that based on the measurements that you wanted, measured,
Yeah.
that actually hits all that criteria.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it's not safe.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it kind of goes back to our point, or your point previously. One, you've got the people on site who don't understand it and don't care for it, and then you've also got to have the desire to want that for you and your team and the people who are working around you.
Yep.
It's the attitude toward it.
Yeah.
So, tell us more about this, GK.
Oh, yeah. They're pretty good, eh? No, it's pretty unreal. I talk to everyone about this pretty openly. Like on Instagram, we get a fair bit of messages, prospective buyers that are looking at it that want some real world feedback. And
This is not a paid endorsement either.
No, that's what I was about to sort of say. I've had some people actually ask me, they're like, oh, are you like, do you get kickbacks from works? Do you get like special rates or anything like that? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm a rewards customer, the same as any other rewards customer is.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and then we have fantastic discussions like this, but that's it. Like, that's what our partnership is though. Like, we grow together, but I get the same as everyone else gets because my feedback on the GKs is so positive that people think the other way. Everything that I've been able to experience with the GK, both of them, has been only positive. We've had some software teething issues, just some dropouts and that sort of stuff, which any GK owner is getting at the moment. And these are things that we're working through. And from where my 700 was when I first got it in November to where it is now, it's a marked improvement. And you guys are continuing to provide me with that support. Like, I'm always talking to Hayden about what we're sort of doing next and how we're like improving it. And I'm seeing these updates and these upgrades and like this progress that Works is doing to continue to develop that side of the GK.
Mm-hmm.
From a hardware perspective, it's the same as the first time I had that demo machine. It's perfect. It's unreal. It's so good. Like, it just, the only issue I've had with my GK, I did myself. I cracked the housing on the back of the gearbox because I closed the chassis with the hose coupling in there.
Oh,
yes, I know. Silly me. Absolutely. I would like to give you my list of excuses now. No excuses. It's my mistake. The reality of a GK 700 in replacement of a PG 680.
Oops.
Is that like that's where we're at, right? Like, this is what we're talking about, like replacing.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I don't necessarily think that someone should come off the street and buy a GK because they do a lot of work very fast. They're very big, heavy machines with a lot of power.
Yep.
You have to know what you're doing with them to do a good job. They're a big step up from anything else that I've used. So I think they sit very well for someone that's looking to upgrade their equipment. And a GK 700 moving through a house is tight. It's a big machine.
Yep.
It's tall. It's hard to see around. But the reality of the geometry of that machine, anywhere I could put my previous machine, I can put this. I've had 900 mil wide hallways that I've been polishing through that I have to do 180-degree turns in, and I get them round. I've had awkward wardrobes that I've had to reverse the machine into, but I can do it. I can fit this machine anywhere, but it's just a little bit harder. It's also doing its job a lot quicker than anything else. So I'm moving at double the speed as I would be anyway. So everything that's happening, which is a little bit harder to do because it's a bit bigger, it's also happening
faster.
at twice the speed.
Yep.
So, I haven't, all of my polishes I've done since November have been with the GK 700.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't done any other internal polishing with any other machine since then. And I don't see the need for me to have a machine other than the GK 700 for my residential polished concrete work.
And the reason why you own an 850?
So historically, we've always been a 600 to 700 mil machine and an 800 and something mil machine. And we do the 800 mil machine on our first stage and our smaller machine on a second stage. Bigger is better. I love bigger. Bigger's more productivity. My spreadsheet says I got 36% more productivity out of an 850 than I do out of a 700.
Yep.
But the other thing that gives me on top of that productivity is a flatter floor. So like, I love quality work, obviously. And I think if I can have a machine that's potentially going to do a better job easier, then I want to have that in my fleet as well, right?
Yep.
Not to mention, and I'll say this, that the one break that I had with my GK 700 where I did it is the only breakage that I've had on that machine. And I was still able to like patch it and keep it running and finish the job, no dramas, and then brought it down here and it was fixed for me with no fuss, no dramas. I haven't had any breakdowns on site since I've had this machine. And
good.
And this is potentially the longest period of time I've been without a machine breakdown since I've owned the business for the last 3.5, 4 years, whatever it's been.
Great.
So I wanted to have a redundant machine. So I wanted to have two, because in my last job, 2 is 1 is none. So if I've got one machine and something happens to that, I can no longer go to work. I was like running the 700, happy days. And then I had this small breakage and I went to another job with my old machine. And that very quickly made me realize that I didn't want to run those machines anymore. And that the GK was the only machine that I wanted to put on a slab. Then between that, tax write-backs for depreciation, it made sense for me to be getting some more onto a depreciation schedule. Why not get a machine that can produce, X amount extra work, 36%. And then I did the maths on it. Again, I love the maths on it. So I broke down like across my job sites what my productivity rates are with a GK 700, which sites I would fit the GK 700 in. So I detracted anything that I couldn't fit an 850. And then I pulled the data from what I could fit an 850 on, increased that production rate by 36%. And then the number that I was able to achieve. So same amount of labor, so 36% increased production. Obviously, you need to then account for direct costs, so diamond tools, that sort of stuff. But I was able to generate enough revenue within 12 months that would pay for the machine in 12 months.
Wow.
So at that point, it kind of became a no-brainer. It was uncomfortable for me emotionally because they're a lot of money. Like there is 85 grand plus GST. It's not a cheap machine by any stretch. When you look at purely the dollar-based value, but when you look at the potential of the machine, the no breakdowns, how controllable it is, the quality of work that it does, the high production rates, it was simple that it needed to come into the fleet sooner rather than later. So here I am, one person with 2 GKs, and I regret nothing.
Well, the data doesn't lie, does it?
Nah. So Dad and I were able to do a bit of grinding with both GKs running at the same time too, and he was really impressed with what.
So now you're actually exceeding plan.
Yeah. It's crazy when you get 2 moving together. Like an 850 on its own is super impressive. A 700 on its own is impressive.
Yeah.
Both on the same site. You need a pretty big generator to run them, obviously, or some really good house power.
It starts really feeling like some real production happening.
Real production. Yeah. Lots of bag changes.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive as to what they can sort of do. So I feel like we're at a really good spot now too. Obviously at the time we had some global uncertainty with supply chain stuff going on. We were seeing a lot of petroleum-based products rise in price very quickly.
Yeah.
So like all of our epoxies and that sort of stuff were climbing. Like we got notification from our epoxy suppliers that they were having a significant price increase, and I'm like, everything I'm doing from an MPC perspective is leaving me at prices relatively level. Even if you look at my direct consumables, right, like my diamonds, my chemicals that I buy predominantly from Works Plus, they are, say, 20% of my cost is that, even if they increase. So if you added 50% cost, and please don't do this. I don't want you to put any price rise up.
50%. I just write that down. A little thumbs up. Yeah, cool.
It's still less of a percent. Please don't do this. But it's still less of a percentage increase in the epoxy, guys. So what I'm now doing is, as every other flooring option price is continuing to grow, we've been able to keep relatively steady, which in the long run is more polished concrete, more MPC delivered everywhere across every different application because we've got the good levers to be able to pull where we're not as globally constrained, because the biggest thing that we have is our labor component
Yep.
that we apply to these floors. And obviously, like, inflation, cost of living will change how labor rates goes.
Yeah.
At the moment, for me, I'm my labor, so I get to apply that as at free will, I guess, which leads to some long days sometimes to meet some timelines and budgets and whatever it needs to be. But I think in the future, MPC is a more competitive product in the marketplace if you even just look at cost, let alone how much it outperforms every
Yeah.
other product. Because we have a factory that you know about that we do, where we've been doing their work for 15 years. And they used to be epoxy, and every 12 months they would shut down over Christmas and they would spend $50 a meter replacing their epoxy. And then we converted them to a full exposure MPC, like a commercial grade finish. So we are less than double the price of the initial install cost of epoxy. There's no curing time. We can do it concurrently to operation, so the factory doesn't need to shut down because there's no harmful VOCs in the air, right? Like we all know epoxy has a lot of VOCs, which is another problem. You need to isolate the area, fumigation, all the rest of it.
Yep.
Whereas polished concrete, because we're silica dust compliant, obviously, doesn't expose any of these harmful chemicals or products to anyone working adjacently to us while they're running the factory. Additionally, we are dust free, so all of the factory gear that's susceptible to dust ingress, we are not impacting that at all. So now we're concurrently installing floors that are lasting 10 years. The reinstall cost is half the price of the install cost, as opposed to epoxy, which is generally the same or more by significant portions.
Yep.
And it carries light. It's super hard wearing, durable. The whole place kind of looks more like a showroom than it does a factory.
Oh, it looks amazing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should even see some of the other stuff that we've done in there. Like it's crazy what we've been able to achieve in this place. And it's like the proof's in the pudding, right? Like this company, every time they like move a machine, I come in and I polish that section, and fully patch repairable too. Like, and it just, yeah,
It's not even an option for them. We're moving something,
Nah.
we are getting that done.
Yeah, like even like forklifts and pallet jacks and stuff like that. Like, epoxy begins to degrade and then the concrete underneath it begins to degrade. But we've actually hardened the concrete and repaired it. And then through all of our grinding, we're making everything flush as well. There's no step transitions or anything like that. So all of their subsequent equipment just isn't facing the same damages of uneven terrain that it used to be, So it's just, in my mind, in places like this, it's an absolute no-brainer.
Yep.
That's not even talking about the aesthetic benefits that come with polished concrete, because it's a stunning floor system. And we can achieve some amazing finishes with it, and functional and timeless and durable and seamless, and let alone like the practical applications. So for us as a business, I see the potential in where polished concrete's going in the future.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to share this potential with everyone. And that's one of our goals that we're doing, and Julie's working really hard towards that for us. So if everyone realizes how good polished concrete is, there's going to be so much work for us all to do. And I'm ready because I got an 850 now as well.
Well, I'm sold. You've convinced me.
Yep.
You've convinced me. Now, how do I order one? Do I order it through you?
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's amazing to see. It's not amazing. It's really encouraging to see how enthusiastic you are about the product, about the industry, about development. And I've known you for a little while.
Yes. Yes.
Known you for a little while. It's been really, really awesome to watch you grow from, I think you were 17 when I met you.
Probably, yeah.
Um,
I'm 34. I'm 34 this year. Yeah.
You're a numbers guy. You'd know that.
Yeah, it's irrelevant. It's not a relevant number.
Watching, even watching your dad's business grow, then watching you grow the business, bring your expertise to it. It's been really, really enjoyable part of being in the business. And then even being able to sit here and talk about how enthusiastic you are for the industry and how much energy that you bring to it. Not just the energy, but even the spotlight that you bring to many aspects of the industry that either people are overlooking, not talking about, or aren't even enthusiastic about. Um, Makes me want to go out and start grinding and polishing. um, or maybe just go for a bike ride,
Yeah, that's good too.
race. Actually, I prefer to be racing.
You're going to start doing downhill?
um, wha- the, oh, look, okay, you tell me. The thing that I probably, I'm not going to say enjoy, maybe appreciate most about racing is the pain. Sitting on a bike next to someone else, these days behind someone else, um, and just that one more second, one more second, one more second. If I can just endure one more second of this pain, and they can't, it's that
Yep.
it's that burn. How long can I hurt for until until that person can't anymore? Even if it's just myself, it's that, I guess, trying to override all of the systems, all of the lights that are coming up on the dash saying this thing's going to blow, and you just keep your foot on the gas.
Yep.
Um, that for in bike riding, that is where my, outside of the thrill of it all, but that is where my real appreciation for it comes from. It might be a sick thing,
Yep.
but that's where it's at for me.
Yeah.
I can do a really fast descent on the road, of course, or I can go out and have a really good fun ride. But when I feel like it was a good ride is when I've pushed myself beyond the pain thresholds that I believed I could before I started that ride. And if I push myself beyond the pain threshold of others, even better. Will I get that from downhill?
Yes. So like,
Hang on. There's a difference. It's the burning it's not the scars.
no, what you do is you add a stress component into it. So,
Yep.
when you're like max heart rate, color's gone, you start to see the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine a 10 meter double in front of you that you have to clear, or else you're going to hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing the tunnel and you're at maximum heart rate and you're not quite fast enough and you need to go a little bit quicker. And then there's like another few features after that you need to get through at the quickest rate.
Mm-hmm.
But then it ties in when you're doing head-to-head competition, because I also quite enjoy head-to-head stuff. You see the other competitor, you become a bit of a morale monster. And you're like, when they're suffering, I feed off that. And I'm like, yes, give me your suffering. I'm not suffering as much as you. When you're on your own, it's different. It becomes a self-discipline.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm hurting. I could take the easy option right around this jump, but I'm going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, when you've got that self-discipline to be in that zone and continue to push, and the tunnel gets narrower, and you just time it so that you don't black out before the finish line, and you just are able to generate that. And then it's like, for downhill as well, it's like a culmination of weeks into 3 or 4 minutes. And it's like the stress that comes from working for weeks to then deliver something within 3 minutes is like a different experience altogether. And you don't get another shot at it for another month or whatever it's going to be until you get the next race. And then when you start competing in a series, and every single result counts towards the end result as well. Like that's like, it's all the numbers that you bring into it as well, which I obviously enjoy. Different types of stress reward based things. Mine also gets a lot of type 1 fun, because yours sounds a lot more like a lot of type 2 fun.
What's type 1, type 2?
Type 1's fun in the moment. You enjoy it.
Yep.
Type 2, you suffer in the moment, and then you enjoy it when you look back on it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I like the reflection.
Yeah. My last job had heaps of type 2 fun in it. Heaps of type 2 fun. Not much type 1 fun.
No.
Some, not much. Yeah.
I'll have to think about that, and then maybe you'll have to take me on some downhill.
Yeah, you just got to calculate the risks involved with it. It's all calculations.
Uh-huh.
You're like, okay, cool. Like I could do this, but if I do it wrong, what are the outcomes? And you're like, oh, mate, do I understand the maths coming into it? Can I deliver that outcome? And what are the impacts if I don't? And then you just give yourself no option and you have to do it.
I was going to say either I absolutely can't do it, or I just have to execute.
Yep. It's kind of cool, like cool, not cool. Sometimes you get yourself into a situation where you're a little bit over your head.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is like in the middle of a downhill run though. So like you're in a rock garden, you're like, oh, I'm probably going a little bit quicker than I'm used to. And there's definitely a corner at the bottom here that I have to make. And you're just like, all right, I guess we're in. We are just absolutely committing to it. And you just learn to commit and hope that sometimes it's hope. And most of the time it works out well.
Uh-huh.
Not all the time, most of the time. That's good.
I was nearly on board. Oh, Dale, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks,
Josh. It's always a pleasure.
No, it's good. Thank you.
This show is proudly supported by Works Plus. Works Plus brings total solutions to all concrete grinding and polishing contractors to make it totally work for their daily operations. We hope you've enjoyed this show. Make sure to tune in each week where we're going to dive deep into all things related to concrete grinding and polishing. We're here to help you so that you can boost your outcomes on the floor.